This is the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast.
Welcome to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Countess. Ken is an internationally recognized marketing expert. This podcast will give you tips on how to market your business more effectively than ever before to help you make more money, whether you're just starting out or have been in business for years. And now, here's Countess.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. I'm Countess. And this week we're going to cover a subject I haven't covered in quite a few months. It's email marketing. Why email? Well, a lot of us think that email marketing is on the ropes. And if email marketing were a person, he might have said, or she might have said, just as Samuel Clemens is quoted as having said. By the way, Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain was his pen name. Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Now, that's not actually the quote, but that's what we think Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens said way back in 1897. What it had to do with was that his brother had an illness, and somehow the story got translated as it was Samuel Clemens or Mark Twain that had died. Well, trust me, email isn't dead. I'm going to explain to you how email actually has evolved pretty dramatically over the last year or so, and how it has become, in many respects, an increasingly important part of a marketing campaign. Are you ready? Let's go. It's pretty true that email marketing is getting a bad rap, and yet it provides the highest return on investment of any marketing tool out there. That may surprise you, but there's nothing that comes even close. The data ranges, but it's pretty clear that somewhere between 38 to 1 and 44 to 1 is the return on your money you can expect from email. Let me explain to you why that number is so important to you. You'll understand that email really should go from 0 to hero if you're not using it. Why? Well, first, people have self-selected using email as their primary way to be marketed to. The data says that over 75% of us prefer email as the primary way for a business to communicate with us. Why? There are several reasons. Number one, email is always with us. Of course, it's on our smartphone or tablet or laptop or whatever. But we control our inbox. We decide what we want to see and when we want to see it. And that makes email a very important tool for us as businesses. Email is actually continuing to grow in popularity. There are over 3.2 billion email addresses that are out there in use today. And by some estimates, that number will grow to 5 billion early in the 20s decade. Email is actually more than an email address. Even when you think about social media, when you think about Facebook and Facebook ads, how do you think Facebook ads can become so well targeted? They're actually doing something called lookalike audiences. If you're working with a marketing company, they will probably tell you that they're looking to create a lookalike audience for your campaign, meaning they're looking at the profiles of people who are similar to those who do business with you or who interact with your emails. Note the word email. The lookalike audiences are based upon the data gleaned from email addresses. So not only are emails used to deliver email, they're also used to better understand the profile of people who are responding to or interacting with or ignoring your marketing campaign. There are studies that show that people who are retargeted with email have a 22% higher chance of buying from you. The platforms are evolving, and as a result, the email marketing platforms are evolving too. Data out there suggests that women are most likely to interact with a marketing message when they're viewing it on a tablet. For men, it's on a smartphone. The good news is that the technology for email has evolved to the point where many email marketing platforms are now able to deliver the email to you based on the platform, the device that you're viewing the email on. So long ago, every email looked pretty much the same. It was designed for being read on a desktop device or a desktop monitor. Then we moved to laptops. Now we're on tablets and smartphones. And a few years ago, that email that might have been sent to you was designed on a desktop device and could only be viewed well on a desktop. But now the software that's built into the email marketing services, and by that I mean Constant Contact, MailChimp, HubSpot, MyEmma, and so on. The software in there is now designed so that it senses what device the email is going to be viewed on and reformats accordingly. And so if you're using one of those services, and of course we recommend Constant Contact, you can be assured that your email will show up correctly. And there are ways to preview your email on those other devices to ensure that the message you're delivering looks well. That's important for another reason, which I'll cover in just a moment. This may surprise you, but as it turns out, we're getting higher engagement with emails now. It's true that the average person only spends about 8 to 10 seconds on an email. However, when you get them engaged, they do spend more time with that email. What gets them more engaged? It's how that email is created, formatted. I'll talk about that next. Design is key. There are some common mistakes that people make. The images are way too big. More than half of us are checking an email on a smartphone or other small screen. And so when you have images that take up the whole screen, you're not getting your message across. Now remember what I said a few minutes ago, that the average person only spends 8 to 10 seconds on an email unless you engage them. So if you don't get them right away, if that message or image isn't engaging, you've pretty much lost them. So design really is key. Because we spend so little time on emails, we're scrolling through our inbox because there's so much content there. You've got to make sure that your email hits the mark right away. Get people to stop in their tracks and read your email. Here's another thing about design. A light font on a light background doesn't make much sense. It's really hard to read. In fact, if your audience is an older audience, use a very light background and a very dark font so it pops off the screen. It's very difficult for people as they age to distinguish characters, light characters, on a dark background. So if that's what you're currently using, you may want to rethink that. The optimal time to send an email has changed. What does that mean? Well, I teach email marketing classes. I've been doing it for a long time. And 6, 7 years ago or so, it was very commonplace, and what we would teach, that people would check email generally midday, midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, between 10 and 3 local time. That's when we were strapped to our desktop computer or maybe on a laptop. But now, here we are, fast forward 6 or 7 years later, with more than half of us checking our email on our smartphone or tablet. We're checking our email more frequently. So the time of day when you send that email isn't structured. It isn't limited anymore to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 to 3. Now, depending on the industry that you're with, there may be a better time that you can depend upon for people to open up your email. Go to our website, check us out. It's thecountessgroup.com, and we can show you where to find some of that detail on when a better time to send your email out would be. Another option is to go to the Constant Contact blog. They did a study a couple of years back. Go to blogs.constantcontact.com and look for the study done on when the best time to send an email is based on what industry you're in. Be personable. Use a real email address. Don't use a do not reply at emailaddress.com as your return email. Who wants to reply to a do not reply? That doesn't make sense. Be personable. Use a name in that return email. People do business with people. So be personable in your email return address and the from address, of course. Your subject line really matters. It matters a lot. You've got to stop people in their tracks. When you get someone like me who gets over 600 emails a day, I'm not going to read every single email, am I? And on that note, by the way, when you have open rates that you think are too small, think about the number of emails that you receive in your inbox every day. And think about how many of those you actually do open. Most of us are receiving well in excess of 100 emails a day. So even if you pay attention to 20 of them, that's only a 20% open rate out of 100. The subject line really does matter. You want to keep it short, probably between 4 and 7 words, and 30 characters or less. Why does that number matter? It's because, remember now, most people are checking their email on a smartphone. The smartphone will truncate the subject line, meaning it'll cut it off if it's too long. And if you're looking at email on an iPhone, for example, they tend to cut off the subject line after 30 or 31 characters, depending on which iPhone you have. On Android, it's a little bit longer. But regardless, you want to get to the heart of your subject within the first couple of words. Also, use emojis. They now are able to be inserted into the subject line with a lot of email service providers. And if you personalize that email, put the name in the subject line, that will help you increase your open rates too. Getting emails through may be a little bit tougher now because we're getting inundated. But here's the good news and bad news on that. Many of the email service providers and the email clients, meaning where you receive the email on, they're getting smarter and smarter. When you look at Gmail and Outlook, for example, they're getting intelligent technology, artificial intelligence. You may know it as AI. AI is being used increasingly to help us do better as we look at our emails. So that applies to the receiver and both to the sender as well. You can take advantage of that knowledge. You go ahead and use emojis in your subject line. Go ahead and create a subject line that stops people in their tracks. Don't use spammy words. Stay out of the spam box. Stay out of the junk folder. Learn about the artificial intelligence that's now being used. And as I mentioned, Outlook, Microsoft, and Gmail, Google, are increasingly using AI to help us get through our inbox more efficiently. Pay attention to the spam laws. They are increasing in number. The United States has had the Spam Act in place for quite some time. Canada has an anti-spam law. Europe now has something called GDPR. Make sure you comply with these regulations. There are many, many tools out there now to help us do a better job with our email marketing campaigns. I mentioned Constant Contact and a few others a few moments ago. Constant Contact this year, 2018, I'm recording this in early September 2018, they've rolled out a significant number of new features that make it much, much easier to send an email out. I got a call this week from one of our customers who had not used email for some time. And he came to one of my workshops and he said, you know I've been delinquent. I just haven't been good about sending an email out. And we got him set up. We were using Constant Contact. By the way, go to our website. It's thecountessgroup.com. If you don't have an email marketing account, go over and find the Constant Contact in the drop-down menu and sign up for an account if you haven't already done so, and you'll become a member of our preferred client program, which is free. The reason that I bring this gentleman up is that we got him started using his email marketing account again. He had one for a while and let it go. So we set a new one up, and he called the other day and he said, Ken, I can't believe it. I sent out one email and I got 5 customers back, people who had been on my list. They hadn't heard from me in several years. They needed new photography. He is a professional photographer. Now, that's not to say that every time you send out an email, the phones are going to ring off the hook. But here's a guy who had not used email marketing in quite some time, sent an email out, and immediately got 5 customers, returning customers. So these are people who knew who he was, and they have reestablished a relationship with him. If you need help with an email marketing campaign, reach out to me. Go to our website. It's thecountessgroup.com. The very first tab says Contact Us right now. We make it easy for you to reach out to us. Let us help you grow. And I mentioned our preferred client program. If you're already using Constant Contact, you can join our preferred client program. It's free. And what we do with that is for members who have become one of our preferred clients, we call you our VIPs. You get access to us for a free review of an email every month. We invite you to free webinars. We give discounted pricing on some of our workshops. It's a pretty sweet deal. So if that's something of interest to you, go to our website, thecountessgroup.com, or you can go to marketyourbusiness.co, either way, and go to that first tab, the Contact Us Right Now tab, and send me a note. Doesn't matter how long it is. Let me know that you're interested in the Preferred Client Program, and we'll send you some more information. So that's it for this week. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to having you join me the next time around.
Hey, that's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to check out our brand new Email Marketing Online Academy. It's www.marketyourbusiness.co/email-academy. That's where you'll find out more. Check out all of our episodes of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. It's on our website, marketyourbusiness.co. Look for the podcast tab, and there you'll find all previous episodes. And while you're on our website, don't forget to check out all the other resources and sign up for our weekly newsletter too.
Thanks for listening to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Ken Countess. Be sure to visit marketyourbusiness.co to access show notes, discover our fantastic content, and sign up for our mailing list. Have questions? Send Ken an email, ken@thecountessgroup.com, or Twitter @CountessGroup. See you next time.
If you need help with this or anything else related to marketing your business, reach out to us.